Hey everyone, we just got ourselves another console mod drop in Baldur's Gate 3's Mod Manager. As I predicted earlier this week, this is another small drop, but it adds in some new mods. And yesterday there was actually some more console mod updates, which I'll be breaking down in this video. Again, didn't think it was big enough for a video dedicated to that, but since there's a bunch of updates and some new mods, we'll break them all down. There's a bit of a mix here. We got a Thor class with 3 different subclasses, a elemental jewelry mod here, as well as the customized origins, Aurora's head, which is actually a mod I love. We got ones here for Dragonborns and a few other things. And there's actually some pretty big mod updates. We'll get to that in the later section of this video. Now, the first one I want to talk about is the Thor class mod, as I'm a big fan of Thor, and it's interesting to see one that's like clearly based on Marvel here. But the other thing I noticed is that it actually has the Stormbreaker weapon here, which is Beta Ray Bill's weapon. So this one is not like a Norse mythology theme, but more so one based on the Marvel superhero. But it's pretty unique. Like, you do get the Lightning Lure cantrip here, Ensnaring Shock, Spark Chain, so it does come with its own unique cantrips here, with something like a Chain Lightning, but smaller, jumps around to multiple enemies, Shocking Touch bonus action there, and also a bonus action Divine Water. It has 3 different subclasses, with the Tank Thor, the Thor Light and Thunder, and the Throwing Thor. And this is where the classes truly differ. So Throwing Thor is kind of like a Berserker Barbarian, so you get a few different abilities here similar to what you'd get from being a Barbarian, the Reckless Attack, Frenzy. You also get the Weapon Bond here, which lets you throw any type of weapon. And then also the Frenzied Strike and Enraged Throw. But also once you get to level 5, you get an extra attack with this subclass, which you wouldn't get on the other 2. At level 8, you get the Improved Critical, and then at level 11, you get the Improved Extra Attack for 3 attacks per action. The Thor Light and Thunder, this one is more so like a sorcerer type class. You get your meta magics there, you get a selection of a bunch of different spells that's from the sorcerer spell list, so you do get things like Mistress spells as well, and it also gives you a choice in meta magic. And things like Extended Spell are actually nuts because you also get Command on this, and a Command for 2 turns is brokenly powerful. So this is a fun subclass as well if you like the Storm Sorcerer. And there's also the Tank Thor here, which is like a Warlock. Now this one also comes with the Pack Boon here, so you get to choose like Pack the Blade, get that extra attack, and have some spell casting. It also has brutal criticals as you level up, and also gives you the Hunter's Prey and additional health. I'll be doing a build on this later on today, so you can stay tuned. Let me know which of these 3 subclasses you'd like to see. I'm thinking the Light and Thunder, as I'm a big fan of the Sorcerer. Now, if you play as this class from the start of the game, you get a new equipment set, but you also can summon into the tutorial chest the Poseidon's Trident here, the Mjolnir Hammer, and then the Stormbreaker Hammer as well. So you can have all of these out here. Cool appearances. They have some lightning and thunder themes, and you can also throw them and a bunch of other stuff here. So kind of similar to been some like weapons for Thor that were made previously, and these are just some new cool ones to add onto this class. Although the Poseidon Trident just looks like Nyrelna to me. This mod also has level 20 support, and it's kind of powerful though. For its capstone at level 20 gives you an extra action, so yeah, quite strong. And next up we got the Wrongway Elemental Jewelry here, which adds in a bunch of items to the game. Now, if you've seen my last video earlier this week where I talked about new mods, we actually got the Wrongway Elemental Weapons last drop, so you can check out the last drop. I'll have it linked in the comments and description. But with this mod here, it adds in a bunch of gear. And what's nice about it is it's elemental damage focused. So if there's a particular type of build that you want to play as, you can kind of fine tune it using a mod like this. Now, there are some that are obviously quite powerful. They're all gold here, so just be mindful of that. But you get a bunch of different benefits depending on which, obviously, which ring you're selecting here, but they have ones particular to each class, which ends up updating your stats and giving you more points here. So you can go with some of these here and get your, you see there, charisma increase +4 with that ring there. So yeah, you can do some pretty cool stuff with this mod. Just be mindful that you can get your stats quite high while using this. But one thing I do like with this mod is that it has like some things here which will apply different debuffs on the enemies depending on the damage type that you selected. So like, poison will make them vulnerable to poison damage, which is really nice because poison kind of got the short end of the stick in Baldur's Gate 3. This applies mental fatigue with psychic damage, which gives the enemy negatives to their mental saves. Radiating orbs for radiant damage. Thunder will give reverberation and daze the target, which does get pretty powerful. We got this one here, which will give you a lot of healing depending on saving throws that you've made. This one gives you lightning charges on your attacks. This one will apply bleeding whenever you do necrotic damage. And then some are crazy, like this one will make it so that your spells cost a bonus action instead and also increase the range. This one here lets you target 2 creatures with your spells, which becomes crazy when you do things like Chain Lightning. This one will give you increased spell range and a bunch of other abilities here. Let's quickly mouse over them, but definitely recommend checking this mod out and giving it a try. And next up, we got a mod that people have been asking for a lot, the Customized Origins. Now, There are some caveats with console, unfortunately, not being able to properly do this that well, but this mod, basically what it does is it makes it so you're able to customize the companions with their eyes, class, scars, hair colors, and everything when you start the game. This is similar to the other mods by Lord President here, like the Vampire Origin, Dark Urge Origin, the Shadowheart Werewolf, and others. But basically with this mod, it just makes you able to customize the companions. Little thing to note, though, is that there's a few overrides in the game, like Will, whenever he gets his Devil Horns, Shadowheart with dyeing her hair, which will override this, but I did post a video on my channel on how to make any character in the game changed on console, and what's great is this actually works on things like Jaheira, Minsk, and Halsin, and Minthara, who previously you're not able to create and change, so this one works for the Origins, but again, the caveats I did mention, but again, I do have a video on how to do that. I'll have that linked in the comments as well. But next up, we got an exciting mod here by Dabble, the Aurora head. Now, my favorite face mod is the Sculptor's Dreamcache. This is what the Aurora head here looks like. Pay attention to the eyes. We got a few different options for it. And this head mod is available to Drow, Elf, Githyanki, Gnome, Half-Elf, Humans, and Tieflings. So this is the regular Aurora head here, so you can see that with the regular eyes. I'm using the actual eye mod by Dabble here as well with their eyes by Tabitha, so works very well in conjunction here. But this is the Aurora head. This is the Aurora cat head as well. And also you can pay attention to the ears here because there's ones with a slightly different version of the ears. You got a more spiky appearance here. So yeah, we got 5 different heads included in this, with 2 of them having the cat eyes and different variations of the ears if you prefer a more spiky look. And these also work on the different types of races here, so you can see what it looks like on the different types of elves and gnomes. Honestly, love the Sculptor's Dreamcache and Aurora's heads. Dabble has some amazing mods, so this is definitely worth checking out if you think that this looks solid. And for Dragonborn fans out there, I'm a huge fan of Akelka's mods. I'm always happy to see more of them get added to console. This fixes, a lot of their mods actually fix a lot of the things that weren't perfect about the Dragonborn, and they fix it here, which you can see there was a transition here between the head and the body type for the Dragonborn female type, and you can see it most notably on the purple. This now makes it blend and seamlessly look nice together, and let's take you through some of the more appearances here. So the male Dragonborn actually had it similar on certain appearances, so you can now correct that. You can also check out Akelka's YouTube channels. They share updates on the newest mods that they're working on, and I'm really excited and hopeful that we will see very soon the Karlach and Astarian Dragonborns here, which just look incredible. I just did a video on this last week, and I'm blown away by what Akelka does here, so I'm hopeful. With the mods that we got released earlier this week, we actually got the clan song, which is the speaking Dragonborn heads, which is one of the prerequisites for this mod, so maybe the next week or 2 or the following month we may see this come to console. But yeah, we got the Seam Mender here, and also another Akelka mod, the DMH Assets Pearl Dark Urge Dragonborn CC here, which adds in this new head, which I think looks really nice. So yeah, if this is your fancy, again, I recommend checking out all of Akelka's Dragonborn mods. Another sneak peek of what this head looks like when you get into actually dyeing it here. This video is, again, by Akelka, so you can check that out. But honestly, amazing stuff. Definitely worth checking out. And the last mod for today is the No Divine Smite for Oathbreakers from Chizfreak, which is meant to be used alongside their Unholy Smite mod, which gives a necrotic version for the Oathbreaker Paladin. So this is something that may be of interest to you. It's worth checking out. But we also got some updates today, and actually some pretty solid ones that I want to break down here. So we actually got an update to the 5e Sword Coast cantrips here by Ridiac, and this one adds in, which we already have, the Booming Blade, but it also adds in Green Flame Blade, Lightning Lure, and the Sword Burst cantrips here into the game. So this update brought in some overall bug fixes. But a big one that I'm really excited about is the Faerun Fashionistas Mega Pose Pack. Now, this has got a few different updates. It has over 740 poses for photo mode. And the great thing about this is whenever you use this mod, you don't have to worry about, like if you're using a bunch of photo mode mods, you do have to use other mods to make them work properly. And these are available in console, but this is an all-in-one. It adds in my favorites all together. It's made by Axiana and a large number of creators, which I'm just going to list here. I've mentioned them in other videos, but it's a lot of creators that have put together this. And the latest update, there's a few more updates pending, which add some more photo modes poses, but we got some more ones here, as you can see the names of them there. So yeah, now available and updated on console. Super duper worth checking out if you like photo mode. Now we also got updates to the CL Inconstant Moon Cleric gear here, which adds in, similar to some of the other Copper Leaves mod updates we got this week, adds in a couple more updates, or more outfits to the update as well. We also got updates to Tep Kunset's hair collection, which is awesome. This, if you haven't downloaded it yet, it's actually much greater than it was a year ago, and there's continually more hairs being added to this by Tep Kunset, so definitely worth checking it out if you're curious. And we also got changes to the Wild Magic Table 2024 by the Real Zier. I love this. And this was actually something I was going to do a video on yesterday, but I got caught up in some other stuff because there's just so many great Wild Magic changes here. The Wild Magic Sorcerer is one of the most fun and interesting classes in the game, and definitely recommend checking that out. But that was today's console mod updates. We got some new stuff, not a whole lot, but hopefully we'll get some more next week. And I'm hoping that my Way of the Pizza Chef and the College of Winter Spirit Bard make their way over to console, but we'll just have to wait and see. Larian was actually playing with my mod again yesterday on their live stream, which is super awesome to see. But hope you guys all have an amazing day. We'll catch y'all in the next one, and we'll see you next time.